Just have to go through that with the county.
Okay. Are we to stand still until that all gets?
Yes,
Yeah, we can.
Like
I mean,
overall
for the building.
standstill?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just, one thing, the sidewalks, I hope next year that we can do Corning, the south side of Corning from Route 50 to like 4th Street. Like, there's no sidewalks there. I just hope that, we're fixing up Corning Street. I really would like to be able to have some pathway for people to walk, like to the supermarket or,
Well, Corning is on slate to be done next year, correct, Troy?
The resurfacing agreement.
Right.
Typically with those federal resurfacing jobs, the funding is only allowed for resurfacing and
Okay.
fixing the ADA ramps. A long stretch of sidewalk will not be allowed,
Okay.
depending on how long.
So
it
that would
is.
have to be something that we would budget for outside the scope of that project.
Most likely.
So Corning would be resurfaced from Route 50 west to,
Ratchy Road.
Rathje, but there'll be a gap in the middle because it was already done. Near the
Right.
railroad tracks on both sides, it was already done several years back, so that doesn't need to be part of it, but
and then has all of the sewer water upgrades been done on Corning during that section, so we're not putting it in and then having to tear it up? You know what I'm
the
saying?
sewer upgrades?
Well, anything we're gonna change in water and sewer on Corning from Route 50 to Ratchy Road, has that all been completed, like sewer main upgrades, sizing up, so we don't put this in?
That's going to be part of, with the Aqua,
Our equips program.
right. So we'll sit with Aqua and talk with them when we do the Corning Road project. And they've indicated that, they would be happy to get in and work with us to get any kind of upgrades or,
Got it.
updated water or sewer, or the water work done there, the water main.
And then if they do it, do they pay for the whole thing or a partial amount of the streets where they dig up?
Depending upon what they have to do. I mean, if they're only on one side of the street, they'll pay for the whole one side to the middle, usually, typically, and then we would do the other side. So that'll still save us a ton of money.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, but, okay, and they will have taken over by the time this project would
Yes.
go in.
I actually had conversations with Aqua last week in regards to that project. We sat down together and I referred to them, that's Old Main. I hate to resurface it and then you guys are punching holes in it. So they're gonna work on it with me and then see what we can do.
And then, can you just, speaking of Aqua, can you just give a little bit of a timeline? Because I've been getting a lot of questions from residents about.
Jim was here at the last, from Aqua, Jim Bellata was here at our last committee of the whole meeting.
Yeah,
And right now, it looks like everything through the ICC is progressing along, per schedule. So we're probably looking at the end of June,
1st of July.
1st of July closing.
okay. So, the actual, any kind of price increases aren't gonna happen until
January
January
2020.
1st. Yeah, January 1st, 2020.
Correct,
But people are gonna be getting bills from Aqua because they're gonna turn over.
correct. So this next quarter, the village will bill.
Right,
And then after that, we're trying to get it to a point where it's at the end of a quarter.
right.
So then we're not, trying to collect for a month or something like that, because we're normally on the quarter.
Right.
But then they will start receiving bills from Aqua, and my understanding is it's a monthly bill.
They're monthly.
They bill monthly.
And.
We will still bill garbage.
Every quarter. so-
Correct.
We were on the phone with them actually today. Jim Bellata came in, we were on the phone with Pennsylvania with Stacy coordinating the
Okay.
switch over, so. Because we're pretty confident that closing's gonna happen, so.
And their goal, of course, is to try to get the water, here well before
Right.
that January 2020 date, just so people can see, the benefits of the water. after it's
If
changed.
perchance that they do not have the water hooked up and flowing by January, the old rates would continue until.
Yes,
Until the
until the water,
flows.
correct. Correct.
Is is it fair to say when people ask about the increases in the water that, I've been trying to explain that we would have had to increase our water and sewer rates somewhat anyway, and then also there was some infrastructure things that needed to be done that we might even had to have some bond issues.
And we would have had to pay the bond issue through the sewer and water program, so our rates, the math we did on $10 million, which was not even all the problems that we have.
Right.
The math we did on $10 million, and I called the bonding company, was actually higher than what Aqua's gonna charge, so. Now, that would have been
But we never
2 years,
could,
3 years down the road.
we never could attract development if we had to first bond water to get across 57.
Correct.
Correct.
Because
the
we would
developer
have,
wouldn't
But I
want
still-
a promise.
we'd still be picking up a $5 million bill to go under I-57, so, that we don't have to pay now.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get all these pros and cons, because people just talk about, oh, it's gonna go up 300%, but they don't realize that there's a lot of parts and
Absolutely.
pieces.
I have always said, it's always been my stance that residents were not paying what needed to be paid up until this point in time.
Right.
We were really never building a fund to take care of future problems. And I look at it as a lot of potential liability down the road. And I think you're going to continue to see small towns look for this type of partnership because of that potential liability. It may never happen, but if it does, it would be devastating to the community as a whole.
And there's no growth with doing
Correct.
stuff, so.
And plus, we're going to have a better product in the end, a much better product.
If you go back in time, way back in time, at one point Peotone had their own phone company, they had their own electric company. This is just kind of a progression of you outgrow the ability to keep up with
Correct.
the times.
Correct.
The
mean,
aquifer
they-
is depleted too.
You know, the Public Works has done a fantastic job over the years, I mean, of keeping this, moving forward, and I said they would have continued to do a fantastic job, but I just think for the long-term future of the community, I still think this was the best option.
Just the EPA alone stuff that's coming down the pipe would have been huge for us to try to keep up with. We're small, a lot of the small towns are going to be looking at this alternative, so.
Okay.
Even Grant Park, as little as that town is, just got Aqua
Mhm.
above their system for the rest of it.
Yeah, I just wanted to get that out there, because.
No, absolutely. No, that's good. And anybody that ever has any questions,
Right.
please come in and ask, or call me, or we'll certainly provide the answers. And we will be holding, some public meetings too, once the switchover takes place, where people can come in, ask questions, with Aqua, make sure that everybody's, understanding if there's any questions on the bills, anything like that. We'll
Yeah,
we'll
Jim
have
came to
those.
the chamber meeting last week, and it was very well received, and, people had questions, and, he and Kevin Culver were there to answer questions. I thought it was a nice
Good.
meeting.
But yeah, we will definitely be having some of those meetings between now and January of 2020, for sure. Anything else for the board? If not, a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second?
I'll second it.
Motion by trustee Ham, seconded by trustee Marevka to adjourn the meeting.
Ham?
Yes.
Marevka? Yes. Jones?
Yes.
March?
Yes.
Parker? Yes. Bowden?
Yes.
Meeting is adjourned.